No, I have to clean up this mess though. Maybe I'm still allergic. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a good day. I guess we will move on to today's topic, which is nuts. Literally. It's kind of strange because like no one else in my family has food allergies, so I don't know why I got to be the lucky one. My parents found out about my peanut allergy when I was a little bit older than 1. They gave me like a cracker with a little bit of peanut butter on it and I had a reaction. So they took me to the hospital. Obviously, I got tested for peanuts and then like all nuts and came back pretty highly allergic to all of them. So I grew up having that allergy and never really being able to eat obviously any peanuts, any nuts, but I think like the bigger thing was never even being able to eat like things that were cross-contaminated or like manufactured on, may contain. And I feel like people aren't even aware of like how much that includes. I never had like M&Ms, Kit Kats. The only chocolate bar I could ever have was the plain regular size like milk chocolate Hershey bar. Even like the tiny Hershey's bars like had a warning on them, the large ones, all the other ones. So those are like the only chocolate I was ever able to eat as a kid. And then even in elementary school, I had to sit at like a peanut-free table, which just kind of sucked. If my friends brought peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like I couldn't sit by them because they couldn't like sit at that table and I was forced to. I never even went trick-or-treating until I think I was like 9 or 10 the first time that I went, because my mom was like very afraid of me getting, I guess, candy in my basket that was mixed with the peanut candy. So yeah, definitely affected my life a decent amount. I was even like afraid when I started to get older and I started to like realize what could happen. I started being more worried about going out to restaurants and just eating something that was like cross-contaminated or whatever. I never even cared about being able to eat like actual peanuts or peanut butter or nuts or whatever. It was just there's so many things that may contain the nut that like I couldn't eat it, and it just became a lot bigger of an issue for me. And I love food. I love trying new foods. I love traveling, and it just kind of affects my life in that way because I can't always do those things safely sometimes, because if I don't know what's in the food, I could die. I should probably emphasize, I don't just get like a stomach ache from eating nuts. I do get the whole like throat closing up, hives everywhere. So it's a pretty severe reaction. I don't know if this is just a general way of testing or if all allergy clinics do it this way, but mine works on a 1 to 6 scale. So 6 being like the highest, the most allergic you could possibly be to something. And when I originally got tested, I was pretty much between a 4 and a 6 in like every single nut. My highest ones, the ones that I'm most allergic to, are walnuts and cashews are like at a 6, and then peanuts are at a 5. Most of the other random nuts are at like a 4, and then the lowest one was almonds, which was only at a 3. I was 18. I met a friend who also had a peanut and nut allergy, and she told me about this treatment that she was doing. The treatment was called Immunotherapy, and if you don't know what that is, it's essentially where they take the allergen of, you know, whatever you're allergic to, and they put it in like this little solution of liquid. It's like a little bottle and with a dropper on it, and you put like a drop under your tongue. You hold it there for 30 seconds and then you swallow it, and then you do that 3 times a day. And you can do this for pretty much any type of allergy. So I do mine, I have a ton of environmental allergies as well. So there's like a separate bottle for the environmental allergies, and then there's a bottle for like all of the nuts. And they essentially put all of that antigen into this bottle of drops. So I'm taking a small tiny bit of the thing that I'm allergic to every single day. That's why it's called immunotherapy, is because you're exposing yourself to it to hopefully eventually become immune to the allergen. This treatment sounded amazing because, I mean, it seems pretty pain-free, and if it works, great. So I went to the clinic, I started my treatment. This was about, I guess, 5 years ago. Geez, it's been 5 years already? Depending on how severe your allergies are, it's obviously going to take longer. The treatment also works better the younger you are. And then once you're at a low enough level with food, like a certain food, you'll come in and you'll do what they call an oral graded food challenge. So I did my first one about 2 years ago, I think, which was with almonds. As I said, that was my lowest one originally, so it just makes sense that that's like the first nut that I would be able to try. How this works is you go in and you're in a room with a nurse for pretty much the whole time. It takes about like 4 hours. So they'll do like a prick on your skin first just to make sure that, you know, your levels are still low. They will give you a larger portion of the antigen similar to your drops that you drink. You wait a few minutes. If nothing happens, like they check everything. Like after every step, they'll check your arms and your neck for any hives or rashes. They'll check your heartbeat, your blood pressure, breathing, all of that, just to ensure that they're not missing any symptom of an allergic reaction. Then they start with a small serving of the actual food. So for me, they did a cracker with like a tiny bit of almond butter smeared on. Then they do the same thing. They wait a few minutes, check all your everything's, and then if everything's good, you'll move on to the next step. There's a dietitian there that like portions everything, because in order to pass the challenge, you need to eat a full serving of the nut without having any reaction symptoms. So like even if I were to get hives on my arm, they would stop doing it. So after the cracker with almond butter, they brought in like a few, I don't know, I want to say like two almonds or something, and I ate those, which again, super weird because I've never eaten a nut in my life. Eventually I did get to the full serving, which is 28 nuts that I eat within those like 4 hours. Didn't have any reacting symptoms, which was great. So I passed that challenge, and then I was allowed to eat almonds. So for the first month, I was only allowed to do 15 almonds per week. So I did like 5 every other day or so. You need to do that in order to maintain your tolerance to the nut. And at that point, they completely take the almond antigen out of my drops, since I'm eating them now and I'm kind of getting that antigen through the actual nut. And then after that month, for the first year, I was then allowed to eat 1 serving of almonds a day. So again, whether that be the 28 nuts or, you know, a glass of almond milk or whatever. And technically, even now, I'm supposed to at least eat 15 a week to build up my tolerance, which I'm definitely not doing. I probably haven't done that for the past year or so, but every time I eat almonds, I never have any issues. But yeah, now I can just like have a bag of almonds and eat the nut, and I don't die. It's amazing. The catch with this treatment is that it's still in clinical trials, so it's not approved by the FDA, which means that a lot of insurances don't cover it. It can get a bit pricey. If you want to do just the environmental drops or just the food drops, it's $30 a month, which $1 a day, not terrible. But if you want to do both, instead of it being $60 a month, which would make sense, it's $90 a month. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is just having to go and get the testing done. When I do like the pricks, the allergy testing, or like the blood draws, that's usually covered by insurance because, I mean, it's just allergy testing. The graded oral food challenge, when I go in and eat the nut, is extremely expensive because the nurse is just sitting in the room with you the entire time, so you're paying for her time. I think it was like $700 when we did that. I'm not positive, I don't remember because that was a while ago, but yeah, so that's kind of a bummer as it is a lot of money, but I would definitely say if you're someone with severe allergies, it is definitely worth it in my opinion. As of right now, almonds are still the only nut that I can officially eat. Oh, technically pine nuts. Apparently I could always eat pine nuts. I did go in about a year ago to do a graded oral challenge for hazelnuts, but when they did the skin prick, I still reacted to it, and my doctor said that she didn't feel comfortable letting me try it at that point. The clinic is about a 6-hour drive from where I am. It is kind of like a process to get up there. But another super exciting thing about doing this treatment is I did get my levels low enough that I don't really have any sensitivities to things that are manufactured in the same facility or may contain. So I finally ate my first Kit Kat bar at 21 years old. It was pretty great, and I can now eat M&Ms. Obviously, like not the ones with peanuts in them, but the regular ones. I never really worry when I'm in the store if I see like bakery products, if they say may contain peanuts. I just don't really worry about it. I can buy them and eat them and I'm good. So I'm able to tolerate those foods, which is a huge deal to me. But yeah, that's my story and that's my experience with getting rid of my nut allergy. It's crazy. So if you think immunotherapy might be the right treatment for you, talk to your doctor today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that if you're someone who is struggling with a severe allergy, this maybe like gave you a little bit of hope that you can get over that hill. There's a saying, get over the hump? Whatever, just get over it. I will keep you guys updated on, I guess, the continuing process of this treatment and when I'm able to eat certain things, just so you kind of have an idea of how long it would take. It's obviously different for everyone, and depending on the severity of your allergy, it may take longer. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I would also really love it if you would click that subscribe button down below. I hope that you enjoy your day and eat some nuts.